Welcome to my YouTube channel. Now this is A Square Maths Made Easy Academy. Now depending on the location that you're watching, good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Hope you're having a nice day with calculations in calculus. So just like I said, with just few questions now, we should be rounding up the first 100 questions under calculations in calculus. We stopped at question number 80. That was part 17 in my previous video, and today we are continuing with part 18, which is question number 81. Now wherever you are, just pay attention and watch exactly what we are going to do. Remember the process I am using. I'm using normal method, I'm using shortcut method, just to make everything easy for everyone watching me. Now, I said by the time I'm done with first 100 questions, the best thing I will do now is to begin to teach everything you need to know on what calculus. You have my PDF, you have my questions. We'll be taking it bit by bit from the beginning of calculus to the end of calculus. Hope you'll be ready to watch that very particular one. Now, let us move now. Now, can we continue? Question number 81. Now, look at the question. The question says this, that if y is sine raised to power 3 of what? X. Now find y dx. Now we are looking for this, number 81. And the question is that if y is sine raised to the power of 3 of what? X. And the question says find dy dx. Now this particular question is governed by what we call differentiation by chain rule or function of function. Now the reason is because it's talking about a particular function which is sine of. But if there is x before the sign, it is product rule. Then if you have over x or anything, it is quotient what rule. Now let's go. So what do? Introduce differentiation by chain rule. By what? Chain rule. Now since introducing differentiation by chain rule, the formula says dy over dx then equal to du all over dx, then times dy all over what? Du. Now watch this. Now the basis of it all is that you should consider the base as what? U. I will now say let u be what? Sine what? X. So what we are differentiating now is u with respect to what? X. If you differentiate u with respect to x, you will get du over dx first. Then to the right, differentiate sine x. And the rule is that each time you are differentiating sine x, the answer is cos what? X. So which means we have cos what? X. So from that, we have gotten du dx. This is du dx. Then the next thing we are going to move now is to consider y to be u of the power. What is the power? 3. I will now put here 3. Then what are we targeting now? We are trying to differentiate y with respect to what? U. And that will produce the y all over du. Are you there? Now what do we do to this? Use the law of differentiation. Consider the power. The power is 3. Then repeat the question. The question is u to the power of 3. And finally introduce minus 1 to the power. Then if I continue, I'll be getting 3u. Are you there? Then 3 minus 1 will give us u. Will give us 2. 3 minus 1 will give us what? 2. I mean to say. Then which means the value of dy du is 3u raised to the power of 2. Do you understand? Now can we move to the formula directly? This is dy all over what? Dx. Then we continue. Du dx is already solved. The answer is cos what? X. I'll put here cos x. Next is to multiply and move to dy du. Now this is dy du, which is what? 3u all squared. Are you there now? Then can I say this is now equal to cos x times 3 will give me 3 cos what? X, followed by u squared, followed by what? U squared. Then do you know that we know the value of u, right? Let's substitute for u. From the onset, the value of u is what? Sine x. So in summary, I will now say that this is 3, right? Cos what? X. U is sine. This u is power, right? 2 first. Then of what? X. And that is the final what? Answer. Now can we look at this in the option? Option A says 3 cos x sine x. No. Option B says minus 3 cos x sine square of x. No. Option C says 3 cos x sine square of x. So the correct answer in the option is what? Option C. Now this is exactly how we are going to solve it using the number. But I want to use shortcut because of the objective word question. Can we try it right now? Yeah, let's go. Now if I'm using shortcuts, now what you should do now is differentiate y with respect to x. It will give you the y all over what? Dx. Now look at the secret. The secret first is consider the power. What is the power? 3. Are you with me? Now the second thing is to differentiate sine x. It will give you cos what? X. Then the third stage is to repeat the question. The question is sine raised to the power of what? 3. Introduce minus 1 to the power. Then finally of what? X. Can you see? Very simple. The answer is already there. Then if I continue, I'll be having 3 cos what? X. Are you with me? Then sine to the power. What is 3 minus 1? It will give you 2 of what? X. And that is the final answer. Do you get me now? So this is what we call shortcut, and that is all. So which means the correct answer is option what? C. Can we move to question number 82? What did I say? Question number what? 82. Question number 82. Now we are now into question number 82, right? Now let's look at the question. The question said differentiate with respect to what? X. That y is equal to a raised to power 2x minus a raised to power minus 2 what? X. And this is their options. Now let's start with, this is y then equal to a raised to power 2x minus a raised to power minus 2 what? X. Are you with me now? Now I'm going to use directly, this one is obvious, it is already known. Are you with me now? It's a direct question. Now what do you expect? Differentiate one after the other. Now let's start. This is the y all over the x, right? Then equal to. Now this is what we call a number. Look at it. A raised to power 2x. This is how we differentiate a constant at the base and variable at the what? Power. Now the law is this. Differentiate the power. The power is 2x. And when you differentiate 2x, it will give you 2. Are you with me now? Now the next thing is to repeat the question. The question is a raised to power 2x. Are you with me now? Then finally take the ln of the base. So I will now call it ln A. I'm done with the first one. That is all. Then the second one to differentiate again is a raised to power minus 2x. Then let's differentiate it. Now differentiate the power. The power is minus 2. If you differentiate minus 2, it will be minus 2x. It will give you minus 2. Are you there now? Somebody may ask, how? Most of my videos, I have taught you how to differentiate this. We have part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, up to part what? 17. And what we are talking about today is part what? 18. And we started with question number 81. So which means for you to get the details of all these things that are working now, I will advise you to watch part 1. It will lead you to part 2, lead you to part 3, lead you to part 4. You keep on doing that. By the time you reach to part 18, you should be able to get the overview of all the things that we have been solving. Now, what do we do? Differentiate minus 2x. Somebody may say, how is it minus 2? Watch. This is minus 2x, right? This is invisible power, which is 1. By the law of differentiation, he said we should use the power to multiply the base. Minus 1 times 2 will give us minus 2, right? Then followed by what? X. To the same power 1 and introduce minus 1, according to the law of what? Indices. Then, according to the formula for what? Differentiation, to say. So that it will now give us minus 2x. Are you there? 1 minus 1 will give us what? 0. Obey the law of indices. Anything raised to the power of 0 will give you 1. And 1 times minus 2, the answer is what? Minus 2. And that is why we brought minus 2 here. Then the next thing is to repeat the question, which is a raised to power minus 2x. Are you there? Finally, take the ln of the base. The base is a. Call it ln what? A. This is how to differentiate this. And this is how to differentiate that. Can I input it there now? Oh yeah, let's go. A raised to power 2x. What is the derivative? It is 2 what? A. Raised to power 2x. Then ln what? A. We are done with this. Then minus. We already differentiated this. And look at it here. It is bracket what? Minus 2 what? A. Raised to power minus 2x. Are you with me? Then ln what? A. Close the what? Bracket. Now if you continue, you'll be having 2 what? A to power 2x. Then ln what? A. Now talk to me. Minus minus will give you what? Plus. Then remain 2a to power minus 2x. Then ln what? A. Are you with me now? Now can you observe something here? Let us see exactly what we are going to generate. This would have been the final answer, but it is not in the option. So what do? I can now say dy all over what? Dx is now equal to factorize. There is 2 here. There is also what? 2 here. Are you with me now? There is ln A here. There is also ln A. So I will now have 2 ln what? A. Open the bracket. There is 2. There is 2. Factor 2 out. There is ln A. There is ln A. Factor ln A out. So if 2 go with this 2, ln A go with this ln A, it will give you a to power 2x. Are you there? Then plus. Then if 2 go with 2 and ln go with ln go with ln A, to remain a to power minus what? 2x. And that should be the final answer. Or I can take this ln A to the last. So that remaining just 2 bracket a to power 2x plus a to power minus 2x close bracket ln what? A. This is the final answer. Either this or this are the same thing. So we take the ln out. It's still the same thing. Now can we observe the option? This is 2 bracket a raised to power 2x plus a raised to power minus 2x ln A. Wow. So this is, no, it cannot be this. It cannot be this. It cannot be that. So which means the answer in the option is what? A. Can you see how to do something like this now? As simple as what? ABC. Are you with me now? Now, let me shock you. You can use shortcut method now to differentiate this. How? Y is given as a to power 2x, right? Then minus a raised to power minus 2x. You should know mathematically, look up. We are going to have dy all over what? Dx. Are you with me? Now, when you differentiate this, it will give you 2, right? It will give you 2, right? And also, when you differentiate this, it will give you minus 2. I know that this minus and this minus will give you plus. So I will now, since the base are the same, I will factor and open the bracket. I will now repeat the question, which is a raised to power 2x. Are you with me? Now, as you differentiate minus 2x, it gives you minus 2. Then this minus 2 and this minus will give you plus. Then repeat the question of this also. A raised to power minus 2x, close the bracket. Since both of them are a natural logarithm and they're all in base A, take the ln of the base, which is 1, ln what? A. Can you see that I have shortened it with this and this? They are what? The same thing. Now let's move to question number 83. What did I say? Question number what? 83. Let's move to question number 83. Question number 83. Now, if you've not subscribed to my channel, do well to subscribe. Please like, share, and comment. And also, remember what I said. Once I've exhausted all the questions from number 1 to 100, I will now do the normal teaching proper under calculus. What you will need to know under calculus. It will refine your brain and give you the normal thing that you are watching for. Are you with me now? Now let us move. Oh my goodness. Question number 83. Now what does the question say? Watch. That if y is cos inverse of 2 over what? X. Cos inverse of 2 over what? X. Now the question says, find y prime. Y prime means the y, the x. We are given that y is cos inverse of what? X. Of what? 2. Then all over x. Now this is differentiation by chain rule. Do you know why? It's talking about a single function, which is cos inverse of this. And even there is a variable here, it could have been a product rule. And even we have over and a variable down also, it could have been differentiation by quotient rule. Can you now see how we discover whether it is chain rule, whether it's product rule, and whether it's quotient word rule? Now this is chain rule, right? What is the formula? I want to use the formula first. Then after that, I will now introduce the shortcut of solving this problem. Now let us watch. Using what we call differentiation by what? Chain rule. What did I say? Differentiation by what? Chain rule. What is the formula? dy over what? Dx is equal to du over dx. Then times dy all over what? Du. Now let us satisfy the analysis. What is u? U is the base. I will now say let u be what? Cos. Are you with me now? Let u be what? Cos. Are you there now? Let u be what? Cos. Cos of what? I want you to watch. Cos of what? What do we call it? Let u be what? Let u be 2 all over x. That is what I mean. Let u be what? 2 all over what? X. Not cos inverse. I said let u be 2 all over what? X. And you know, by the law of indices, this x will move up. And as you move off, I'll write 2, then x followed by my power minus 1. Do you know that x to power minus 1 is same thing as this value that you're seeing? This minus 1, x will go down. It will still give you exactly this. So that it will be easy for us to differentiate u with respect to what? X. That is to say, du all over what? Dx is now equal to, consider the power. What is the power? Minus 1. Then multiply. Repeat the question, which is 2x raised to power of minus 1, and introduce minus 1 to the power according to the general formula for differentiation. Now, if I continue, I will now have minus 1 times 2x will give me minus 2 what? X. Then minus 1 will give me minus 2. Can we now say that du all over what? Dx is now equal to minus 2 up over x raised to power 2 down. Do you know why? Because of the negative word power. Then this x will move down. Do you understand? Now look up. By looking at the scenario of the options, somebody may even be faster to say that the answer lies between option B and option what? And option B. Oh my goodness, look at it, option B. Because option B we only have minus 2, right? But here is 2, here is 2, here is minus 1. But don't be fast to conclude. We don't actually know that maybe something can cancel out and it will remain minus 1 at the what? At the numerator. But let's fast track it. It cannot be this, it cannot be this. So which means the answer falls between this and this. But let's not conclude. Can we progress? Now, having satisfied the u dx, I will now say let y be cos inverse of u. What did I say? Cos inverse of what? U. How do we differentiate cos inverse? It is constant. If I differentiate y with respect to u, it will give me dy all over du. Now watch. So watch. The law is that anytime you are differentiating cos inverse, it will give you minus 1 all over square root of what? 1 minus u squared. 1 minus what? U squared. And that is the answer. So that is why we may not even conclude that it is still option B, because we have gotten another word, minus. So that is not the end. We have to solve it. Can we move ahead now? Then I want you to understand, anytime you are asked to differentiate cos inverse of x, just tell us that the answer is minus 1 all over square root of 1 minus what? X squared. So I will prove this in my normal lectures, in my normal class, in my normal lesson. Just get ready. Once I'm done with first 100 questions, calculations in word calculus. Now, if that is the case, can we move ahead now? Now watch this. Okay, watch. Get back to the formula for chain rule. dy dx is now equal to, now this is du dx, right? We have known it. Look at it. Du dx is minus 2 all over x squared. Then I will multiply. I will do what? Multiply. Next is to dy du. Dy du. Look at the answer. Minus 1 all over square root of 1 minus u squared. Are you with me? Can you see that minus have already cancels what? Minus. Oh my goodness. That is why I say let us not be in a hurry to conclude. Now this now becomes this. Watch. 2 times 1 will give me 2, right? Then all over, this is s squared, right? Then this is multiplied by this. This is square root of, what is here? 1 minus u. What is u? What is u? So 1 minus u. Okay, now can we finish up now? I want you to watch. Sorry for the transmission. Now let's continue. What is u? U is already known as minus 2 all over what? X squared. I will now remove it and introduce minus 2 all over x squared. Then everything is all squared. Everything is what? All squared. I take it again. This is u. U is this. Look at it. Let's go back. Look at u, not this. U is 2 over x. I will now put here as 2 all over x. Everything is all squared. Now can we continue? This is now equal to 2 then all over x squared. Then I have square root of 1 minus, open the bracket, 2 squared will give you 4, right? Then all over what? X squared. Are you following? Now if you continue, I want you to observe something here. So we are going to have something like this, equal to 2, then all over, we have x squared, right? Then square root of, take the LCM, call this over 1. What is the LCM? The LCM is x squared. X squared over 1 will give you x squared, right? X squared times 1 will give you what? X squared. Then minus x squared is 1. 1 times 4 will give you 4. Can we now move ahead? Are you with me now? Oh my goodness. Can we now move ahead? Are you there? Now, what am I trying to say here? Now, watch this. I will now continue to have something like this, equal to, watch, this is what? 2. Are you there? Then all over, we have x squared, right? Then this is now, what is square root of x squared? It will give you x. It will now remain square root of x squared inside minus 4, then all over what? X. Are you with me now? Now be careful. What you observed here, 1x down, we cancel 1x up. Are you with me? Then what do you think that is the final answer? That is why I said you should be very careful. Then I want you to watch. Are you with me now? Watch. So watch. Now what do we do? This one will now give you 2 all over, what is remaining here? X square root of what? X squared minus 4. Now this should be the final answer. If you observe it, we don't have anything like that in the option. It can't be this, no. It can't be this, no. It can't be this, no. It can't be this. But looking at the options, it's like it's related to option D. Maybe there's a little error that they did not fix what? X here. Am I communicating now? Now, if that is the case, what do you do in such kind of situation? If I were you, since it's CBT, their mindset is option what? D. Now go ahead and shade option D and smile over, because it's not your fault. And if you did not shade it as well, they will still mark it because this is the correct word answer. But let us not fully jubilate now. This is for normal method, right? Let me solve it using shortcut. Using what? Shortcut. I want you to watch. Let's solve it using what? Shortcut. Now, what is actually the question? Look up now. Look up. The question says that if y is cos inverse of what? 2 all over what? X. The question says find what? Y prime. Y prime means the y dx. Are you with me? Now what do? Just say dy all over the x, which is now equal to, look at the law. The law, first of all, listed is for us to differentiate 2 all over x. Now, how do we differentiate 2 over x? Very simple. Are you with me? What you should do is that, listen. Are you with me? Once x is at the denominator, I have taught this before. Since it's shortcut, the first thing is to generate minus. Generate what? Minus. Then repeat the question, which is 2 all over x, invisible 1. Share. Then you add plus 1 to the power. So finally, the answer is minus 2 all over x. What is 1 plus 1? It will give you 2. That's the secret. Then if you are given something like this, let's say 2, are you with me now? Let's say 3 all over x again. Now the law is this. It must counter what? It must start with what? Minus. Then what do we do next? You now repeat the question, which is this. Are you with me now? Which is what? 3. Then all over. I will now say x invisible 1. Then I will now add plus 1. Then equal to minus 3 all over x raised to power 2. And that is the final word answer. Then somebody may ask, what if it is like this? Am I communicating now? That is when we now say, like 3 all over x squared. It must start with minus again. I will now say 2 times 3 will give me 6. It has changed now. Then all over the question again, which is x raised to power 2, then put plus what? 1. Very simple. Then you have minus 6 with me, all over x. 2 plus 1 will give you 3. And that is the final word answer. These are shortcuts of solving problems like this. Do you now understand? Now let us move to where we are. Now watch this. Remember I said differentiate 2 over x. Remember x is down. It will incur minus first. Then you now bring the question 2 over x, invisible 1, then r plus 1. I am done with this. Then you multiply. The next thing that we are going to do, watch, is to differentiate cos inverse of this. At any time you are differentiating cos inverse, it is minus 1 over square root of 1 minus that. Look at that. That is the question, which is 2 all over x. Close the bracket, then all squared. I taught you. Now what do? Can we progress? We now say that this is now equal to minus, we cancel minus. 2 times 1 will give us 2, right? Then, are you with me? Then all over this very particular x raised to the power of 2. Do you understand? Then I will say square root of, now open 1 minus 2 squared is 4, right? All over x squared. Call this over 1 and take the LCM. Then if we continue, we have 2, then all over what? X squared. The square root of the LCM is x squared. Is what? X squared. Then x squared divided by 1 will give you x squared. X squared times 1 will give you x squared, right? Minus. Then x squared divided by x squared is 1. And 1 times 4 will give you what? 4. Are you there? Now, do you agree with me? Anytime that you are taking the square root of x squared, the answer is x. Square root of 4, the answer is 2. Why? This is power 1 over 2. Cancel this. It remains what? X. Can we now move? Now let's watch and see what we are going to get. Oh my goodness. This is 2, right? Then all over. I have with me x squared. Then what remains in the square root is the numerator. Then x squared minus 4. Then all over x. Somebody will ask me, a squared, what if, can't we take the square root of x here squared and take the square root of 4? Don't try it. Do you know why? The reason is because of the minus. Had it been its multiplication, go ahead and take the square root. If it is plus and minus, don't do that. Now this is a loan, and that is why we take the square root to give us what? X. Then let's jiggle out. One of these we cancel one of these. Oh my goodness, what is the answer? 2 all over what? This is x, right? Then square root of what? X squared minus 4. Can you see, using shortcut, we're able to get the same answer using the normal words method. Can we move to the last question? The last question. What did I say? The last word question. And the last question talks about minimum and maximum under differentiation, which is the application of dy dx. Now, if that is the case, can we look at the last question? The last question is question number 84. Now watch this. Look at it. The product of 2 positive numbers is what? 36. Do we know the product of the 2 positive numbers? Look at it. The product of 2 positive what? Numbers is what? 36. Do we know the product of the 2 numbers? No. I will now say let the 2 numbers, what did I say? 2 numbers, oh my goodness, be what? X and what? Y. And they say that the product means multiplication. So which means the product, which is X and Y, is how many? 36. Oh my goodness, we are done with this. Now the question says, what is the minimum value of the sum? Underline the word minimum of the sum. Sum we don't know. Now let the sum now be t equal to, or I can use what? Total, which is t, equal to x plus y. This is the sum. The sum is t. We don't know. How do we appreciate that? Call this equation 1. Call this equation what? 2. Oh my goodness. What do? Go to equation 1 and make y subject of the formula. So that xy, which is 36, right? I will divide this by what? Y. I will divide it by what? I will divide this by x. I will divide it by x so that x can cancel what? X. My y should now be 36 all over x. Anyone you can make subject of the formula. This is what comes out in equation what? 1. Anywhere we see y now in equation 2, remove it and put 36 all over what? X. Are you there? Please listen carefully. You must get something from here. Now let's fire on. What do? We now move to equation what? 2. Equation 2 says that the sum, which is t, is x plus what? Y. Can I say t is now x plus what is y? Talk to me. Y is 36 all over x. I'll write 36 all over what? X. Are you there now? Now watch. Can we say that this thing can be written as, take the LCM. The LCM is x, right? This is over what? 1. X divided by 1 will give you x. X times 1 will give you x squared. We give you what? X squared. Then plus x divided by x will give you what? 1. And 1 times 36 will give you 36. So which means the total is now x squared plus 36 all over what? X. Since there is minimum, it will now lead us to differentiate. What did I say? Differentiate. You can use differentiation by quotient rule. By what? Quotient rule. And what is the formula? V du over dx minus u dv over dx, then all over v squared. Are you there now? Now the numerator is u and the denominator is what? V. Can we differentiate? It will give me change in t over change in what? X equal to. The law says keep v constant. V is the denominator, which is x. Are you there? And differentiate u, which is the numerator. If I to differentiate x squared, I have taught you, it will give you only but 2x. How? This is x squared, right? Consider the power, which is 2, right? Repeat the question, which is x squared, and introduce minus 1 to the power. If I continue, I'll be having 2x. 2 minus 1 will give you 1. Oh my goodness, it will give you 2x. Then the next thing to progress is introduce minus and keep the denominator constant. This is the denominator. Open the bracket. X squared, are you there now? Then plus 36, close the bracket. And differentiate v, which is the denominator. And the denominator is x. Differentiate x, what is the answer? 1. How? This is x, invisible 1. Consider the power, which is 1. Times, repeat the question. X to power 1. Introduce minus 1 to the power. Come on, can we move? 1 times x will give you x, right? Then 1 minus 1 will give you 0. Oh my goodness. Law of indices says anything raised to power 0 is what? 1. Now this is exactly how is just a clear picture of what you are going to be observing in my main lesson. Once I am done with what? First 100 word questions. I'm almost there. You will hear more about the beginning of calculus, understanding of calculus, concept of calculus, theorems of calculus from the beginning to the end. Probably, maybe tomorrow or next, I will unveil the class in my YouTube. Am I communicating now? Now let's progress. Oh my goodness. Let's progress. Now the law now says this is all over. Introduce all over, right? V squared. What is V? V is x. Then it becomes all squared. Can we now say dt over what? Dx is now equal to x times 2x will give me 2x squared, right? Minus, open the bracket, minus 1 times x squared minus x squared. Minus 1 times plus 36 minus 36. Then all over what? X squared. Something is about to happen. Now 2x squared minus 2x squared will give me x squared. Then minus 36. Then all over what? X squared. Now this is exactly what we are looking for. This is a derivative. Since we are looking for the minimum, so what do? It will now take us to what we call the turning point. What did I say? Turning point. Please watch all the parts. I have destroyed the minimum and maximum of a function under derivative. Turning what point? Any turning point, what does it mean? That the dt over dx is always equal to what? 0. Can we move ahead now? So which means the whole of this will turn to 0, right? Then equal to, talk to me, x squared, right? Minus 36 all over x squared. Call this over 1 and cross what? Multiply. Now 1 times x squared. This implies it's x squared, right? 1 times minus 36 is minus 36, then equal to. Now 0 times x squared will give you what? 0. Now watch, make x squared subject of the formula. X squared becomes what? When 36 moves to the right, minus 36 becomes 36. Are you there now? The two answers are being expected here. Can we progress now? Are we together? Now watch this. So what do we do next? You make what? X subject of the formula. Now which means my x becomes plus or minus the square root of what? 36. Do you know that this thing now becomes plus or minus square root of 36 is what? 6. Remember, we are looking for positive numbers, not negative. So which means the value of x is what? 6. Are you with me now? Now if the value of x is 6, I want you to observe something here. Oh my goodness. How do we get the value of y? From equation 1. From what? Equation 1. Remember, we said in equation 1, where is it? Look at it here. That y is what? 36. All over what? 6. Are you there? Then which is now equal to all over what? X. We've known x already. What is x? 6. It becomes 36 all over 6. And what is the answer? 6. So which is the value of y is what? 6. While the value of x is also what? 6. Now for this thing to reoccur under minimum, what did I say? Under what? Minimum. You remember that the condition of a minimum is that the second order derivative, are you with me now, must always be greater than what? 0. Greater than what? 0. Do you understand? Must always be greater than what? 0. Do you understand? Now if I continue again to differentiate this, I will got something here. Now watch it. They said the product of two positive numbers is what? 36. Are you with me now? Is what? 36. What is the minimum value of the sum? Oh my goodness. Look at the sum. We say it is t equal to x plus y. Do you understand? Now the question now, sum says, do we know t? X. Yes. What is x? 6. Do we know y? Yes. What is y? 6. Finally, 6 plus 6 will give me 12. Let's check the option. Option A says 9. No. Option B says 10. No. Option C says 11. No. Option D says 12. Wow. The correct answer is option what? D, which is 12. Do you understand? Now I am done with 84 questions. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 to part what? 18. If you have not watched any, please do yourself a favor and watch all of them. Bet me, you will not regret it. Now, once again, I thank you, all my fans, for always subscribing to my YouTube channel, for always share, not just watching alone. Share everywhere, share to your friends. Let them discover the mystery of calculus. Now, between tomorrow or next, I'll be unveiling the normal or full lecture, even if I have not finished the first 100, on what? Calculus. Just get connected. Get what? Connected. See you in my next class. Thank you very much. This is A Square. Bye.